here we are. This is Sex, Love Psychedelics, and I'm your host, Dr. Kat, bringing you psychosexual conversations that will leave you intellectually turned on and hungry for more. Yeah, and looking at the breadth of your journey since your revelation that sex is energy. Mm-hmm. Like right now you're describing about your sexuality and it's just this breathing model. It's just flowing and fluid, and you are vibrant. You have a lot of vibrant energy I feel effervescent. You're bubbly. You are this bubbly drink.
Thank you. Because funny, that's exactly what I would say about you.
That's what happens when you sexually awaken, right? But that's the question that I want to bring here too, because there's so many individuals, all genders, who struggle with exhaustion, who struggle with low vibrancy. And if we think about along this journey, have you been able to identify ways that you used to leak energy, or you used to leak out this vibrancy?
Absolutely. And I'm just, this example is very alive for me. We had a conversation about this. There is a challenge and emergency in my family, so I had to fly to my hometown. I moved out of here more than 30 years ago. It's a town in Poland where I don't know anyone. I'm in my parents' house. The food is not great. I kind of came here, and week in, I noticed how I was leaking the energy because number one, I didn't have my routine. Number two, I wasn't eating healthy. Number three, I wasn't moving my body. Number four, the TV it's always on here. And already that just caused anxiety in me. And I didn't have my favorite I didn't do my pleasure practice because, I am in my parents' house, and I didn't have the little sensual pleasures of the day, like my matcha latte, for example, because I couldn't find any in my hometown. It's simple, but weekend I was like, okay, am I gonna allow? And I started to be low on energy, my vibration low, and luckily we have all the tools and awareness. And few days in, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let myself slip, and I kind of created that environment. Where immediately I joined the gym, hired a trainer, I found a place with healthy food, I dragged my dad going bicycle, and I found a place where I go for my chai latte. It's my sensual ritual, and I go there every day and just savor my favorite chai latte. And I announced to my dad that I'm going to do a self-pleasure practice once a week, and that's me time. So I even set up a pleasure altar here in what is his office, in my room now. And all those little things brought my energy back. And it's really a holistic view. And then when you look into the what we really are talking about here and offering, coming back to my regular pleasure practice for me is key, because simple, what you don't use, you lose. And it was easy to just stop doing it and start dying on the inside. And trust me, with all that I'm going through here, I wasn't not necessarily in the mood of self-pleasure, but I showed up. And I was okay, maybe this self-pleasure will be more of a healing or emotional release quality. And maybe I don't feel like it, but I'm going to come back and revive this ritual. And for me, routine and rituals is something that is so important and energizing and grounding.
Yeah. I find that too. And I think it's really important for people to hear that, we're human too, and we have life experiences, and these experiences, to see how our eroticism, the energy, our vibrancy ebbs and flows, and for us to have the conscious awareness then to be able to make the course correction so that other people can see that too. I've similar experience when I go home to visit my family, because not only is there this small town in the Midwest, with all of the different types of food and the different types of activities or lack thereof activities, but also I noticed the family dynamic, going back into our family, our nervous system can pick up their patterns and it can really affect us. So for me, I get this experience of exhaustion I feel very lethargic when I get home if I don't do that activity.
Absolutely. And I have so many people share, well, I'm in a space that it doesn't even feel like having the pleasure practice. If you look at this moment that I am at when I'm grieving someone close in my family, where I'm in my parents' house, where it's gray and this and that, it's not really a scenario that you would think is so encouraging of self-pleasure practice. But I find it, it's a different way. It's not about spontaneously being horny and aroused and then you're going to self-pleasure. It's actually the other way around. It's creating that little space that you can tap into that, and understanding that a self-pleasure practice is not always about just pleasure and orgasms, but it's really about feeling all of you, feeling and allowing whatever emotions are present. And sometimes it's going to be a breast massage and a lot of tears. Sometimes, I just recently had a really powerful crygasm. And so seeing this as a part of your healthy wellness routine or practice, and not just,
Yeah. I put on a podcast, a solo episode exactly a year ago. This weekend, my dad had passed away, and I witnessed the dip in my turn on and my not wanting to be in that erotic pleasure. And when I did do my practice, it wasn't crazy orgasmic like ecstasy. It was soft and gentle and loving. And that still helps. And I think that's what we need to remind people, that it's not, like you said, it's not coming in and then getting an orgasm every time, that can also take us out of the actual pleasure of it. But it's even just learning to soften and to downregulate our nervous system and just be in that mushy, expanded state that all contributes to our eroticism and our vibrancy.
Absolutely.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in, lovers. And if you want to experience more ecstasy and sexual liberation, head over to sexlovepsychedelics.com and learn about how you can join me for any one of my online or live events. And while you're there, grab my free guide on sex and psychedelics. Remember, this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please contact your healthcare provider and local law before pursuing any of the products or psychedelics discussed. And one final note here. I make this show specifically for you. If you're loving the show, then be sure to leave me a review in iTunes or Spotify to let me know. Happy to be here and happy to serve. I'll see you next time on Sex, Love, Psychedelics.